Hello travelers, welcome to my travel diary on httravel, where we pursue the most vivid stories in the world. Today we come to the Philippines, a place famous for its blue beaches, majestic mountains and warm smiles of its people. But behind that beauty, there are lands that the world often forgets. Their poverty is not just a number on paper, but the sound of children's cries echoing among the stinking garbage, and people struggling every day with the dust and ashes of life. Today, we will not only see but also deeply feel their stories, resilient lives on the margins of society. Please share your thoughts below because each comment is a step towards real change. Are you ready to listen and accompany them? Under the yellow lights and the pungent smell of charcoal stoves, Tondo is not just a place name, but a pulse of forgotten Manila. It is a maze of alleyways, rusting tin roofs, and peeling brick walls that seem to cry out for help. Every step takes you into a slice of reality: naked children playing in black puddles, fathers fixing bikes on the side of the road, their eyes glued to every piece of loose change. Tondo is not a mere slum. It is a parallel world, just a few kilometers from the shiny glass buildings, but it seems to belong to another era. Here, the concept of space and privacy is a luxury. A room of less than 10 square meters can be an entire universe with a stove, a bed, a bathroom, and sometimes even a grocery store. There are families of 6 or 7 people, living on top of each other through every rainy and stormy season, even through viral fevers with no money to buy medicine. Tondo used to be a name that made many people afraid. It was associated with gangs, violence and abandonment. But behind that rough shell were thousands of quiet stories of people who did not give up. Mothers carrying their children to sell fish from early morning, fathers driving rickshaws all day without rest, and children barefoot, but with hopeful eyes still trying to go to school. They did not ask for much. They just wanted a chance to live decently and with dignity. Tondo is not just a poor place. It is a mirror of a society that is forgetting its weakest. And in that forgetting, there are still smoldering fires of life, resilient, silent. Payatas, a name that resounded throughout the Philippines in 2000, not because of a festival or a victory, but because of pain. The terrible landslide took the lives of hundreds of people, burying them under thousands of tons of decomposing waste. And now, 2 decades later, people thought that the place would be cleared, renovated, but no. Payatas is still the reluctant home of thousands of people, still a place where life thrives in trash, disease and poverty. Here, life does not begin with an alarm bell, but with the siren of the garbage truck. People from strong men to 8-year-old children flock to the dump like a swarm of bees. Each person carries a sack or a homemade cart, looking for gold in the rubble, plastic, scrap metal, cardboard, or anything that can be sold. A kilo of plastic can be exchanged for a meal. A few cans of beer can be exchanged for a dengue vaccine for your child. Here, everything has a price except their own lives. The scorching Manila sun mixes with the stench, the toxic fumes from smoldering garbage piles, and flies and mosquitoes that swarm every inch of skin. Children, shoeless and maskless, learn to recognize the value of trash before they can even write their names. Every scratch on their hands is a reminder of the risk of infection, every cough a sign of an undiagnosed respiratory illness. Payatas is more than a place, it is a grim testament to the gap between rich and poor in the Philippines. A place where hope and danger coexist, and life, however fragile, stubbornly clings on. Smoky Mountain, the name sounds like a strange place, but in fact it is a painful legacy of Manila. This Smoky Mountain was once the largest garbage dump in the city, where thousands of tons of garbage were piled as high as a mountain, smoldering day and night. The government closed it long ago, but the traces of poverty, pollution, and neglect have never left. Now, the place that used to be a giant garbage dump has turned into a makeshift residential area, but don't mistake that for a better life. Rusty corrugated iron houses, rotten wooden boards and torn plastic tarpaulins are crowded together on every square meter of barren land. In the middle of a city bustling with traffic and bustling with commercial centers, people here still live without stable electricity, clean water, and no faith that tomorrow will be better. Children still play by the black water, where rainwater, sewage and leachate mix into a toxic mixture. The older ones help their parents collect scrap, the younger ones learn to survive before they can read. Every meal is a gamble. Eat whatever you can find, as long as it fills your stomach. Adults, people who once dreamed of a better future, now only hope that their children do not have to continue this cycle. They diligently collect empty beer cans, scrap metal, intact cardboard boxes, things that the city throws away, but they collect them like gold. Women cook from firewood, from materials that others have thrown away. And every afternoon, they sit in front of their tents, looking up at the sky, where the sunset casts an orange glow over the old trash, but their hearts are not satisfied. Smoky Mountain, no more smoke, but still smoldering with a burning desire to escape poverty that has never been satisfied. Happyland, the name sounds like a fairy tale, but it is a bitter paradox in the heart of Manila. This so-called Happy Land is actually a poor settlement located on an old garbage dump, where the stench still lingers whenever the wind blows. There is nothing here that resembles happiness except the strong will to live of the people who fight to survive every day. In Happyland, there are no supermarkets, no hospitals, no proper schools. But there is always something bustling, the blazing charcoal stoves used to cook pag-pag. These are pieces of fried chicken, fried meat, and leftover rice collected from restaurant trash bins, washed roughly, fried again, and sold to the poor people. A plate of pag-pag costs only a few pesos, unimaginably cheap, but for many families, it is the main meal of the day. Children here grow up among trash and scrap metal. Bare feet tread on the rough ground filled with broken glass, eyes bolder than their age. They learn to sort plastic, copper, paper before they can read. But what haunts people is not just poverty, but resignation. Because for many people, Happyland is no longer a temporary place, but the only roof they have. People here still love, still marry, still have children and light up their dreams. A roof to protect against the rain, a stable job, a meal without worrying about illness, things that seem small but are more distant than ever. Happyland, with all its cruelty and fierceness, is still the world that thousands of people call home. And they live, not because they don't have a choice, but because they have never been given another choice. Less than an hour's drive from Manila, Sanghi, a small settlement deep in the province of Cavite, appears like a forgotten world. A place that is rarely marked on city maps. A place of nameless streets, makeshift roofs made of rusting corrugated iron, and people who live as if they do not exist in the eyes of the rest of the country. Sanghi is home to people rejected by life in the capital. They used to live in Tondo, in Payatas, then they were displaced, pushed far away from the center, to places with nothing but empty land and fragile hope. No stable electricity. No clean water. No health care. Every day here is a series of struggles with poverty, with disease, with social indifference. Children in Sanghi play on the dusty ground, among debris and empty bottles. When it rains, the area turns into a sea of murky water, floating trash, and each small step wading through the water is a testament to resilience. When the sun comes up, the red dust from the parched ground covers everything from clothes to unfinished dreams. There are no proper schools, no playgrounds. Children grow up listening to their parents' stories, to their broken dreams of a different tomorrow. Here, people do not live to enjoy, they live to survive. But amid all this, Smoky still exists as a testament to resilience that cannot be extinguished. The people here do not need pity, they need a chance. A chance to no longer be forgotten. A chance to turn their days of living in misery into tomorrows of hope. In the narrow alleys of Tondo, Payatas or Happyland, where light only filters through warped corrugated iron sheets, and the smell of garbage never leaves the air, women appear like torches burning silently in the dark night. No one gave them the strength. No one gave them the right to choose an easier life. But they still choose to stand up, not because they are not tired, but because if they fall, their families will have no one to support them. You can see them at dawn, carrying garbage bags to the dump, holding children in their arms, and carrying sacks on their backs. They boil pag leftover food collected from the dump in the hope of selling it for a few coins or feeding their families. They wash clothes with rainwater, cook with honeycomb coal, and take care of their children in houses less than 10 square meters. Some are single mothers, abandoned or lost to violence, illness, or work accidents. But they still do not give up. They work as hired laborers, pick up trash, cook, sew, sell goods on the street, anything to feed their children. They are doctors when their children are sick, teachers when their children are learning to read, heroes when the family has no one else to turn to. The women here do not cry when they are injured, do not complain when they are hungry, they just hold their children's hands and say, "Tomorrow will be better." They do not need to be hailed as heroes, they just need to live in a society where justice does not ignore the poor. In the slums of the Philippines, women are not victims, they are the soul, the silent heartbeat that keeps life going in the most remote places. And if you listen long enough, you will hear that beat strong, persistent, and never-ending. In the dark alleys and moss-covered walls, there are still hearts that refuse to give up. In places where people once thought there was only despair, there are seeds of hope planted by the people who live there. Not by magic, but by resilience, sharing, and a common dream, change. In Tondo, there were children who grew up without ever holding a book. But now, thanks to community scholarship programs, they have the opportunity to enter the classroom, their eyes lighting up when they see their names on the report card. Education has come as a gift, not only opening the door to knowledge, but also opening the door to the belief that I can be different. In Payatas, mothers who used to pick up trash have now learned how to organize and defend their rights. They are no longer alone. They have each other, and together, they create small groups, clean markets, and soft skills classes for women. These seemingly small things are changing the entire rhythm of life in a community. In every poor neighborhood, there is a Liza, a woman without a title, without much property, but with a strong heart and unshakable faith. They go door to door, organize meetings, connect with charity organizations, and bring light to the darkness. Therefore, although life is still difficult, hope never fades. It lives in every small action, every child's laughter, and every tireless step of ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. After months of living in the darkness of poverty and neglect, miracles are beginning to sprout, not from the big things, but from the smallest actions. A new clean water faucet installed in a Tondo alley. A tin-roofed classroom in Payatas. An empty lot in Smoky Mountain turned into a community vegetable garden. These seemingly insignificant changes are the foundation for hope to live, to learn, to dream. Where there was once only the smell of garbage, now there is the sound of children studying. Children who used to have to dig through garbage to make a living, now pick up pens and write their dreams on paper. I want to be a doctor to cure my mother. I want to be an engineer to build a new house for my father. Each of those simple words is a promise to the future. Women who once silently carried the burden of their families are now taking charge of their lives. They are learning how to run small cooperatives, how to stand up for their children, how to say no to violence and injustice. They are not only feeding their families, but also nurturing the spirit of their communities. And we, the people who tell these stories, are also contributing to change. Every time you share a video, listen to a story, or simply believe that someone deserves a better life, it is another fire lit in the darkness. We cannot eradicate poverty overnight. But thanks to the resilience of the people here, and the compassion of those who do not turn away, we can make the impossible a reality. A new day, a new life is just around the corner. Environmental pollution is becoming one of the most pressing issues in the Philippines, a country of more than 7,000 islands that faces serious challenges in air quality, water quality, and waste management. In major cities like Manila, the air is often thick with smog, partly due to heavy traffic, industrial plants, and widespread burning of household waste. Many poor residential areas do not have effective waste treatment systems, leading to waste being dumped into rivers, streams, and sewers, causing blockages and generating foul odors all year round. One of the most obvious consequences is water pollution. Rivers like Pasig, once the lifeblood of Manila, have now become dead rivers with black water and a strong odor. Plastic waste floats everywhere, directly affecting the lives and health of millions of people, especially children and the elderly. Many coastal areas are also seriously threatened by ocean pollution, with hundreds of tons of waste dumped into the sea every day from land, destroying ecosystems and traditional fishing industries. In addition, climate change is making the situation worse. Storms are becoming more powerful, floods are more frequent, and each time the water recedes, piles of trash are washed up everywhere. Pollution is not just an environmental problem, but also a public health and social justice crisis. The solution cannot come from governments alone, but requires the cooperation of communities and individuals to protect the increasingly fragile living environment. You, the person watching this video, are not just a spectator. You are part of the story. A story that continues every day thanks to compassion, sharing, and acts of kindness. Whether it is just a share, an empathetic comment, or a small donation to organizations that are working closely with the people here, all can bring hope. Let names like Tondo, Payatas, Smoky Mountain, Happyland, or Sani not just be symbols of hardship, but become living proof of resilience, of the spirit of overcoming adversity, and of the power of community. You don't have to do big things to make a difference. Sometimes, just a word, a comment is enough to make someone feel heard. Leave your thoughts below. What impressed you the most? What do you think we can do to help? Every word can spread. Don't just watch. Speak up. Let's shine the light together from heart to heart. Because change sometimes starts with a small comment.